Let's pay homage to the lineage gurus. Homage to the Venerable Monk Liao Ming. Homage to Master Sakya Zhengkong. Homage to His Holiness the 16th Karmapa. And homage to Master Dubden Dorji. Homage to the three jewels of the altar. Homage to the main deity of Homa today, the sixth Vajradhara, Vajrasattva, Vajra Bodhisattva. Semu, Tanzan Capital, Tubdan City, Tubdan Kama, all Dharma masters, Dharma lecturers, Dharma teachers, Dharma instructors, Dharma tutors, temple and center directors, and all disciples present here and over the internet. Good afternoon. How do you do?
I stayed. Hola amigo. Te quiero mucho. Scoy. Ijiba. Kimoji. Jimmy. Yapi. Bring. Konnichiwa.
Those are greetings in many different languages. Now I would like to announce for next Saturday, February 8th at 2 p.m. 2 p.m. Organized by Seattle Lechang Temple, there would be the annual spring blessing grand ceremony, and with the debut transmissions for Medicine King Tara. The location is Linwood Event Center. And the following Sunday, February 9th at 3 p.m. 3 p.m. at the Rainbow Temple, there would be Guru Dorje Dorje, the Spring Grand Homa ceremony and empowerment, Dorje Dorje, at the Rainbow Temple, Sunday. The mantra,
Hom, 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 Om, Hom, Wajira, Guru, Zola, Naka, Sarwa, Siddhi, Hom, Hom.
The mantra of Dorje Dorje. Or
Ar Sikh, Near Sikh, Namo Bhagavati, Hom, Hom, Pei.
Or
hom, 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 hom.
Three different types of, three different mantras. These few days, it's quite cold. This morning, it's been snowing all morning, and everyone is still here. So what a spirit. Kudos. But if the temperature reaches 0, then when the snow melted and then freeze, then it would be ice on the road, and perhaps you think it's okay, the roads looks fine, but there may be ice on the road, so please be careful. First, drive slowly, and second, don't don't brake or steer suddenly. What we learn is on the snowy or icy roads, you cannot press on your brake suddenly or too much, because the car would still slip, it would still slide. So you should brake slowly. So if there's a downhill, then it would continue to slide even when you brake. So you kind of pulsing on the brakes, pulsing. That's the method. So you brake and let go, brake and let go, brake, let go, brake, let go, to stop the car. If you brake all the way, the ground is slippery and the wheels will not be able to stop. It would just slide. So please be very careful when driving. And next week, the weather seems to be the same. There may be snow these few days. So you definitely need a four-wheel drive or all-wheel drive. If it's only rear-wheel drive or front-wheel drive, that would not be sufficient. The car would sway. If you drive a front-wheel drive, then maybe the back end would sway. So you need a four-wheel drive. Better cars, not all cars. Can be problematic. Snow, falling snow, it's nice. All white everywhere. Looks very nice. It's the world of silvery white. That's the only benefit or advantage, and the rest are all disadvantages. One time, there was a snow, and there were over 300 car accidents only in the Seattle area. In the past, I was living at the Phantom Lake, and the hill was quite steep. Leaving home or going home, so the car was not driven down, but slid down, slided down. At that time, Foqi and Foqi were little, and when the car was sliding downhill, and they were just shouting like, "Oh, so much fun! That was great, Dad." They did not know that we were already anxious driving, panicky, because if the car slid to the road, that would be horrible. But if it would be even worse if it slid down the hill to the lake. Today we perform Vajrasattva Homa, and frankly speaking, I just saw Vajrasattva. I saw Vajrasattva just now. Very marvelous. And he appeared for me to see. And then Vajrasattva's face at first was like the painting of a Buddha and Bodhisattva, extremely dignified and magnificent. And then the face changed, and I looked more carefully, and it became Grandmaster's face. So that's why he's the sixth Vajradhara, Vajra holder, and Grandmaster Lu is the seventh Vajra holder. And our masters are the eighth Vajra holders. So the Vajra holder will be transmitted down the lineage. So all the masters are the eighth Vajra holders. They represent the spirit of Vajrayana. The first Vajradhara or Vajra holder was the Adharma Buddha or Samantabhadra Tathagata. And then below him were the five Dhyani Buddhas, or also the five Vajradharas or five Vajra holders. And Vajrasattva is the Dharma prince of the five Dhyani Buddhas. So he's the sixth Vajra holder. This belongs to Vajrayana. We know the Dharma princes, Manjusri Bodhisattva, Samantabhadra Bodhisattva are both Vajra princes of the Huayan or Avatamsaka along Sakyamuni Buddha. So Manjusri and Samantabhadra Bodhisattvas are also Dharma princes. The three sages of the West in the Pure Land sect, Avalokitesvara and Mahastamapraptas Bodhisattvas are also Dharma princes. They are Dharma princes belonging to the Pure Land sect. And the Dharma prince in Tantrayana or Vajrayana is Vajrasattva. And then during the Huayan era, they were Manjusri and Samantabhadra. Vajrasattva is the only one representing Vajrayana. Because when Nagarjuna was in the South India, opened the Iron Gate and met Vajrasattva. So Nagarjuna Bodhisattva is the patriarch of the 8 schools of Vajrayana. So Vajrasattva transmitted the Dharmadhatu and Vajradhatu to Nagarjuna Bodhisattva. And Vajrasattva's Dharma body or Dharmakaya, Sambhogakaya, Nirmanakaya. So Vajrasattva represents compassion, Vajrapani represents Dharma power, and Vajrachitta or Vajra heart Bodhisattva represents the mind. And Vajrasattva's manifestation, Vajrasattva, Vajrapani, Vajrachitta. And the lineage of Vajrayana, Vajradhara, which is Samantabhadra Tathagata or Adharma Buddha, and then 5 Dhyani Buddhas, and Vajrasattva as the 6th Vajra holder. That's how it is. Hundred syllable mantra is very important. First, it's to purify self-nature. and purify all encompassing purity and the vast self-nature purity and vast all purity. This represents all purity. When Master Dubdandraji left, he only spoke this word, purity. When he left, Master Dubdandraji bestowed upon me an image of Vajrasattva. So he entrusted Vajrasattva upon Grandmaster. At that time, he said, by bestowing this Vajrasattva to you, it's the same as the Vajrasattva prophecy that in the future you would uphold the lineage of Vajrasattva. And Master Dubdandraji, most True Buddha School disciples have met Master Dubdandraji. Please raise your hand if you have met him. You've gone to the Jingyin Buddhist attic in Hong Kong, and many people went visit him at that time. His yidam was Gurukule Buddha Mother. That's whom he practiced, but he only delivered 300 disciples. Master Dubdandraji, only 300 disciples. But Gurukule Buddha Mother, he should have delivered millions of people, but how come just 300? But he said, if I just deliver one, Grandmaster Lu, that's good enough. Because by delivering you, Grandmaster Lu, then he would have 5 million grand disciples already. That's what he said. That's the power of Gurukule Buddha Mother. So in the future, if you have Gurukule Buddha Mother as your yidam, you would be incredible in the future, really. And then in your next life, if you become a singer, try and see. You would become a Zhou Jielun. So he looks so-so, and his singing is also so-so. But whenever he's out, he's so... And all the tickets are gone in a second. So by practicing that Dharma, Jeicho, and then if you become a singer in the future, even if you look good or you look so-so, as soon as you stand up, everyone would faint underneath and screaming and fainted and being carried out. How can it be? That's practice from past lives to have popularity. That's from past lives practice. So even when you are so-so and just no big deal, but you're a big deal, the tickets were gone in a second. No, it's full house. And Lin Zilin, who married to Japan, in the past, Yan Yan came, and I used to sing this to Yan Yan in the past. I love Yan Yan, Yan Yan loves me. For me, Lin Zilin is nothing. And then Yan Yan also sing. I love Grandmaster. Grandmaster loves me. And for me, Jicho is nothing. Yan Yan now has grown up, and Fang Fang has grown up too. The other day they came, one hand holding Yan Yan, one hand holding Fang Fang, and I told Fang Fang, "You used to hug my lower leg when you were little. Now they have both grown up." Do you remember the song I sang? No, they don't remember. It's fun. Humans. It's not talking about others, talking about eating. Back then, she was 3 years old, and I knew her from then. And she sang a song for me. And then she said, "I will sing a song for you, and I have to bend down in order to hear." But now she doesn't sing for me anymore, and now I have to look up to her. She's tall, and also look very stocky. So eating, please stand up.
Wow.
Are you taller than I am? What is your height? 165. At my highest, I was 163. And now as I age, I'm at 158 centimeters. You're 165? That's good. That's good enough. Please be seated. See, she is the leader of the school band. You applied for the university, Zhengda. Somebody else said yes. Who? This is applying to the Zhongzi University in Taiwan. I still have some jokes here. The boss asked the employee, "Do you have a car? Do you have a car?" And the employee said, "Yes." And the boss asked, "At night, can you drive me to the airport?" And Xiaoming said, "Yeah, but we just one person drive halfway. What does it mean?" And the boss asked, "What kind of car?" Oh, it's bicycle. But I guess in Chinese it's all vehicle. You know, what kind of vehicle? This is a joke about Hui Jun. Hui Jin bought clothes and have worn it and asked other disciples, how come it looks different from what's on the internet? And the fellow disciples said, for the model, you will not be able to button the top, but as for you, you would not be able to button the lower 3 buttons. Xiao An is like you. Naughty sky, sad rain, and tomorrow and the following day there will be snow. When the heaven is happy, would be sun you, and then if not happy, would snow on you or scare you with hails. Please be careful and prepare your own tools in transportation, because the sky is broken-hearted, so the mood changes anytime. The husband and the wife, the 2 elderly husband and wife, are watching TV, and suddenly the channel became the beauty contest, and the elderly man is blushing and then went into the bedroom, and the wife said, "It's already this old and you're still so conventional." But actually he was looking for his glasses. And now we'll do the Q&A. From Indonesia, Lian Lotus Chi Fong. Homage to Guru Buddha. I pray that you stay in samsara to greatly turn the Dhamma wheel and widely deliver sentient beings. In Southeast Asian countries, sorcery or black magic is very prevalent. Therefore, when facing misfortunes or obstacles, some people suspect that they have been cursed by others. However, after seeking advice from grandmasters, we come to understand that sometimes it's just an effect of negative energies or clashing spirits. So, Grandmaster, how can we differentiate whether it's sorcery, black magic, or just a mere attachment by spirits or energy class? So what is black magic and what is a spirit disturbance? I know there are lots of black magics or sorceries or spells in Indonesia, Malaysia, Singapore, also in South America, and not only in South America, it's everywhere. Also in Taiwan. So Southeast Asia, East Asia, American continents. Didn't I say that I went to a shop who especially sell items for casting spells in the Dominican Republic? We went to the market and they took me to visit the shop for spells, for casting curses, and they sold lots of stuff, the piranha fish teeth, the wings of bat, and human bones. Human bones are no big deal. There are many things from Tibet that are made from human bones, from Kapala, the skull cup, and the horns. They were all made by human bones. And in the past, my gurus told me, if you take the skull cup of a smart person as your kapala, and then you perform your ritual, that would not be good. You should take a skull cup of a dumb person. So how do you differentiate what kind of skull cups belong to smart, intelligent people or to stupid and dull people? It is by licking with your tongue. If the skull is fine and smooth, that belongs to the smart people. If it's rough and scratching on your tongue, that's the skull of a stupid person. But if you use the skull of a dumb person, it would be powerful because they would just follow your intent. But the skull cup of a smart person, they have their own minds or opinions. So that's why the dumber, the better. Because the smarter, then you're not going to be utilized. So those that are used are usually the dumb people. The smart people cannot be cheated, but nowadays they are cheated too. But for skull cup, the smarter you are, the skull is fine. The finer the skull is, and the dharma, the rougher. So they use the skull as to make a skull cup or kapala. So you went to Dominican Republic in that sorcery shop. They have everything. Teeth, eyes, ears of animals. They all have those. A high adept, a high sorcerer that has great power. It's very easy to cast spells on others, but they don't do it. Why? Because primarily they want to cultivate spiritually. Because casting spells are deviant, heretics, improper path. Like those with unkind heart. Because if you have great supernatural power, you visualize the person, you place the eyes at the back, the ears on top of the head, and the mouth was here, and just move the place, move the locations of the eyes and nose and ears to different places. Just by doing that visualization, that person would be dead. That's all they need to do if they don't have a good heart. But they have great Dharma power, but they are not a good person with no good heart. All they needed to do is to visualize and put the eyes to the back, the nose to the top, the mouth somewhere else. Then your skull will split open and break. And then there would be a tile falling from the roof and hit your head, and you would be dead. That's called black magic. In Chinese, it's to curse your head, or sorcery. Actually, sorcery and Chong Fan, which is ghosts or conflicting energies, are about the same. Those are all spells and rituals that are evil rituals. Like they take a dog tooth, and then nail it on your face or somewhere. Then you would be bitten by animals. The animals would bite you. You're just walking on the road, and then all of a sudden there's a dog that would bite you. And all they did was just push that dog tooth at a certain part of your body. That's called sorcery. All they need to do is the fresh wing of a bat that's bleeding, and then put it on the replica of you. Then your arm would be cut off. Like if you use a machinery, then all of a sudden it would be cut off. That's called sorcery. So sorcery and affectation by negative energy are about the same. Affectation by negative spirits, ghosts, or energies. Think about this. You're just walking, and you don't know that right in front of you there is an evil spirit, and you go through his body, and then afterwards then you start to have fever and chills, and no matter how you tried to cure yourself, you couldn't, because the ghost is now bonded to you. That's called Chong Fan, or affectation by negative energy. So they're about the same. They're just encountering negative energy and negative things, evil things. So they're all similar, Gang Tou and Chong Fan. So if your luck is bad, then a lot of the negative energies would affect you. But if you are fortunate and your luck is good, then none of those negative energies would affect you, would not dare to approach you. Like Grandmaster, don't have affectation by negative energies. All I do is just protection, and the protectors are also around me. And you chant the protector's mantra everywhere. Before sleep, also chant the protector's mantra and the sleep protection practice. And then I make offerings before eating and at any time. When I wear clothes, that's armor protection. When I eat, that's offering. When I wear, that's armor protection. Your dwelling, that's protection. When you stay, you reset protection mantra. When you travel, you chant the Yida mantra. So with the protectors around you, that means you have light enveloping you, then you're not scared of anything. Even when the sorceries will cast at you, will not touch you. So there's no need to differentiate whether it is sorcery or clashing with negative energies. Because as long as you have light on you, then the black energies or the dark energies will never be able to approach you. It's just like when you lit a dark room. When you turn on the light in this room, then the darkness will not be there. But when you have no light in the room, then of course darkness is there. That's the same concept. So whether you are affected by the sorcery or a clash or negative energies, it's all the same because you have no light. Why do you want to differentiate them? And you got affected by the sorcery because you have no light on you and you have no blessings by the guru, yidam, or protector. But if you have your guru, yidam, protector, then you're not afraid of any sorcery or any negative energies. Wherever you go, you have light and they would avert you. Although they have grudges against you, they only follow at a distance. They don't care to invade you. But when you do something bad, then you have no more light, then they would invade you. It's a simple concept. So how should we differentiate whether that was curses spelled or negative energy? There's no need to differentiate because they're about the same. The most importantly is you should have light inside your heart mind. Spoken by His Holiness the 16th Karmapa, the key point is to have light inside your heart mind. If you have light in your heart mind, you will definitely rise to the Pure Land. If you have no light, you would fall into the 3 low realms. Then you would experience the black magics and the curses and the sorceries and all those negative, evil energies. Otherwise, although they come near you, but they're just waiting around, they don't dare to invade you. Now, do you understand? So it's that simple. What is sorcery? What is Chongfan, which is affectation by negative spirits or energies? Or invasion by the negative energies. Now we will expound on the Vimalakirti Sutra. Sakyamuni Buddha told Maitreya Bodhisattva, Maitreya, there are also 2 characteristics of those known as newly aspiring bodhisattvas. Who cannot fully determine the profundity of the Dharma. There are 2 kinds of bodhisattvas who cannot understand, penetrate, or teach such profound, ultimate Dharma. What are these 2? First, they have never heard of an ultimate transcendental sutra, such a profound Mahayana sutra they have never heard of. And upon hearing it, they become frightened, develop doubts, and cannot follow it. So they become skeptical. They cannot follow the flow of sentient beings to spread this ultimate sutra. They even slander it, stating their disbelief. So they would slander such transcendental, ultimate, profound sutras. And they don't believe it, and they talk about it. I've never heard of such a sutra. Where did it come from? And second, when encountering someone who upholds, supports, and explains such profound sutras, they refuse to approach, make offering, or show respect. The second kind, although they support Mahayana ultimate sutras, and they can uphold, support, and explain such sutras, but they don't like the newly aspiring beginners. And they differentiate the ultimate sutras, give rise to discrimination toward the ultimate sutras. These two kinds. How come they don't believe this transcendental ultimate sutras and they just believe the non-ultimate sutras? Why? Because the non-ultimate sutras are superficial. The profound sutras, simply speaking, I have explained, like in the past, greed, anger, and delusion are Buddha Dharma. Oh, you don't quite believe that. How can greed be Buddha Dharma? Because you can practice using greed. For example, about wealth. Giving wealth. Let's give a pragmatic example. I've been talking about the first and foremost wealthy man of Avalokitesvara, noble Avalokitesvara, Arya Avalokitesvara, Manipremi Hom Tachapuja Guruya Soha. I have transmitted that Dharma, right? And then other Buddhist schools heard that. Wow, the wealthiest Dharma practice of Arya Avalokitesvara. So by practicing Arya Avalokitesvara, you can become the richest man? That must be wrong. That must be deviant. There is no such thing. Because teaching you to become the richest is like teaching greed. You know, in Taiwan, there are 4 Buddhist mountains: Ciji, Foguang, Huagu, and Zhongtai. The 4 great mountains. And the richest one is Ciji Foundation, the richest one. The second richest, Foguang, Buddha Light, Foguang, we all know. The richest one is Ciji. So, being the richest, so that's the richest man. So, is that evil? No. That's the true teaching. So, being wealthy is deviant Dharma? No. No, wrong. But let me tell you, the Dharma practice to be the wealthiest of Arya Avalokitesvara, yeah, that's about wealth. That's right. But you can give wealth. So to teach you to be wealthy, so you can give. If you have no money, how can you give? So Tzu Chi Foundation is giving money. So it's as it should be that they have money. That's why the Dharma practice to be the wealthiest by Arya Avalokitesvara is the right Dharma. And in Tantrayana, there are wealth deity practices. And why do you practice it? Of course, because you have greed for wealth. It's best if you have gold falling on you. Now gold is very expensive. fall around you. Wow, then you just see all gold around you. And then you can use this money. We just fulfill your desire first before guiding you onto the Buddhist path. And that's the most important thing about the Vimalakirti Sutra. The 4 transcendent bases. The first one is the desire. So to fulfill your desire of the 4 transcendent bases, we have studied the 4 mindfulness, 4 right exertions, 4 transcendent bases, and of the 4, the first one is the desire transcendent base. So to fulfill your desire, and then to guide you onto Buddha Dharma, you practice the Vimalakirti Dharma. And after a long while, you would penetrate it, then you would know, and you transform greed into Buddha Dharma. Therefore, greed is Buddha Dharma. Practicing the Vimalakirti. And about other desire, 2 kinds according to Confucius. Food and sex are human natures. So to have a desire, transcendent base, you have desires, sexual desire, and then let you give rise to your desire, and then among it, to let you be mindful of your own yidam and enter into yidam. Then you transform the desire into purity. And after purity to become desire, desire becomes purity, purity becomes desire, desire becomes purity again. And this is the most important of the dual body practice. So during the consort practice, the desire would arise, and then you purify it, and then you perform it and give rise to the desire again, and then purify it again, back and forth and back and forth. So desire and purity and desire and purity and desire and purity, and it would lengthen the time and with non-leaking light drops. That's the principle. If you just give rise to desire, then you would give birth to a human baby. Because all you have is desire. So sexual desire between a man and a woman, you give birth to a baby. But if you have desire and then you retract it and become purified, then you would become a sage. So if you follow it, you would give birth to a man, but if you go against it, you would become a sage. So this principle in Taoism is the same as in Tantrayana. So you practice starting from the greed and desire. You cannot be boastful that, oh, I'm practicing from desire and greed, but actually you're just following your desire. And if you cannot turn and transform your desire into purity, then it's impossible for you to do that. Then you're not skilled. But if you can transform your desire into purity, then you have mastery. That's why you say greed is Buddha Dharma. And this is in the Mahayana Ultimate Sutras. Vimalakirti can go to the brothel because he was able to turn and transform. That's why he was qualified to go. But if you cannot do it and you go visit the brothels, you would be dead. dead for sure. Because Vimalakirti had mastery, so he could visit the brothels. Why? The Mahasiddhas can have attainments in the brothels. There were several Mahasiddhas who had attainments in the brothels. Tilopa, Virupa, the one holding a fish was Tilopa. He was in the fish market. Naropa, he could be in the brothel. Because they had such a skill and mastery to transform the greed or desire into purity. And Vimalakirti was like that, and what's spoken in the Vimalakirti Sutra. And you practice starting from the greed or desire for wealth or for sex, also cultivation methods. And most ordinary people wouldn't believe that. How can there be such a thing? It's too scary. We'll be dead. But no. Because you have non-leaking light drops, and you transform it into purity, and it's beneficial to yourself and also to the partner. Beneficial to both. So it's transformed into spiritual cultivation. So consort practice is also spiritual cultivation. The wealth deity practice is also cultivation. But ordinary people hearing that would be scared. No, you cannot touch that. If you touch that, you would be dead. But it's true. If you touch that, you would be dead. However, if you can cultivate spiritually until you reach non-leaking light drops, and you transform yourself into the yidam, that you are the yidam himself, and you transform the partner to be a yidam, so two yidams and two lights merging together, and both radiating light. That's spiritual cultivation. But such a method cannot be done by most people, ordinary people. So newly aspiring bodhisattvas would not be able to explain this sutra, and instead talking about its negative side. You cannot support such a profound sutra and refuse to approach, make offerings, or show respect. They even speak ill of such a person. So frankly speaking, in the beginning, you cannot touch it. You have to keep the precepts. And unless you have go beyond the precepts, unless your mastery have gone beyond the precepts, so they slander this dharma, harm this dharma. So this twofold signify a new aspiring bodhisattva who harms themselves by failing to subdue their own mind. And Sakyamuni Buddha told Maitreya There are two other faults. Even though a bodhisattva has faith and understanding in the profound Dharma, they still bring harm upon themselves, are unable to attain the unborn endurance. So although the bodhisattvas believe such profound sutras, and they are the ultimate sutras, the greed, anger, and delusion are Buddha Dharma, but they still harm, slander them and unable to attain the unborn endurance. That's a fruition of the 8th ground bodhisattva, non-regressing. What are the two faults? First, they look down upon newly aspiring bodhisattvas and do not guide or instruct them. You understand this, but you don't teach the newly aspiring bodhisattvas. You don't guide them or teach them. You don't explain the Dharma clearly. And the second, even though they understand the profound Dharma, they grasp at the appearances and make distinctions. These are the two faults. So although you understand the profound Dharma, you divide them into two, good and bad. This one can be done, those cannot be done. Divided into two, and that's not right. This is spoken by Sakyamuni Buddha. So, for greed, you can start cultivating from greed, like practice the world deity Dharma practice. In this world, it's all about name and privileges or benefits. But you can practice from them. How about name or fame? How come you don't want it? Like practicing Gurukule Buddha Mother, then you would become popular. You would have fame. Then the more famous you are, you can deliver many beings. The more beings you can deliver. And benefits, if you have lots of benefits, you can help people. You can give, like Tzu Chi, for Guangsan. They're all rich, but Buddha school is like a beggar. Although it's a beggar, but there are also many who are rich. There are also many who are poor. So we are a mix or neutral. So what we see with our physical eyes are just fame and benefits. And that was spoken by the great master Hong Yi. And what's seen by the celestial eye is the incarnation, right? And what's seen by the Dharma eyes is cause and effect. What's seen by the Dharma eyes I think is the unborn endurance seen by the Dharma eyes. Huiyan, by the wisdom eyes, that everything is non-existent, everything is empty. And what's seen by the Buddha eyes are all compassion, spoken by the great master Hong Yi. So, if you can truly attain unborn endurance, then you would be non-regressing bodhisattva of the 8th ground. They would never abandon spiritual cultivation. But before you reach the 8th ground, there is a possibility for you to abandon spiritual cultivation. When on the 8th ground you attain birthlessness, then you will be non-regressing, because with no birth there would be no death. with no birth and no death, you are liberated. You are liberated through emptiness, liberated through non-phenomena and non-action. If you can understand these three types of liberation, then you can understand what the ultimate sutras are about, the profundity of this transcendental ultimate sutras.
Dad
asked Xiaoming, what's your aspiration when you grow up? And Xiaoming said, I want to change the world. And Dad said, if you want to change the world, you should do it before marriage. And Dad told Xiaoming, because after marriage, you wouldn't be able to change even your TV channel. That's a joke from Hui Jun. What is the courage for Hui Jun? And Hui Jun knew that eating this hot pot would make me fat, but I would still eat it. That's the courage. So just don't want to waste. That's how Liao Xiaoan too. Although you know that you would gain weight by eating it, but you still eat it. That's the courage. Hui Jun and Xiaoan.
Xiaoan 在哪里？
Where is Xiaoan? And he said that he didn't want to waste food. So he's very brave. Om Mani Padme Hum.